Hi, welcome today to our spotlight video entitled A Day in the Life of a Real Estate Agent. And I'm so excited to have my guest today, Ella Frye. Ella is a licensed real estate agent in Ohio and Kentucky. She's been licensed more than 15 years in both states. She obtained her license in 2005 in Kentucky and in 2008 in Ohio. Prior to becoming an agent from 1991 to 2005, she worked for the city of Covington as the economic development director, coordinating business recruitment and retention programs citywide. She is experienced in mixed use development, which include infill, residential, multifamily, and high density development commercial as well. She's also served on planning and zoning and managed a $1 million loan pool for small businesses. As time moved on, Ella used her experience and started her own consulting business in finance, zoning, economic development, and planning. When the real estate market slowed, she turned to work for 6 years as manager for an entrepreneur training and lending program within the Northern Kentucky Community Action. Today, Ella is a full-time realtor. And in addition to that, her full-time title is Cincinnati Director of Ohio Economic and Community Development Initiative, ECDI, in the Southern Ohio Women Business Center. Welcome to our spotlight video, Ella. We are so glad to have you today.
Well, thank you, Tim, for inviting me.
The whole topic of real estate and a career in real estate is so important to all of our students at Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. And they have lots of questions, as you can imagine. And so one of the first questions I want to start out with you is, what made you be interested in becoming a real estate agent 15 years ago?
Well, I guess, Tim, it started, my husband had investment property when I married him. And I found myself dealing with tenants and leasings on my off hours on the weekends in the evening. So I said, I need to be better equipped to answer some of these questions and to formalize our procedure. So what better way than going through real estate school? So that's what made me start out with real estate school.
Well, that's interesting because so many of our students in the class, some are interested in being a real estate practitioner, getting their license. Others are like you. They joined because they had investment properties or they've bought properties and they wanted to know more. So since you brought that topic up, how did a structured real estate program help you as a property owner, an investor, and a landlord? How did that prepare you better?
Well, first and foremost, it introduced me to other professionals in real estate, like yourself. And also, it gave me a list of the do's and don'ts. Many times when we're practicing as amateurs, we don't know the laws. So through the real estate class, it helped with the law classes in terms of what is permitted and what is not. Where we went through the law section, we went through what's ethical in terms of that, and we also went through housing, residential development, in terms of the questions that you can ask in a rental application and the questions you can't ask. And it also helped us to understand to avoid pitfalls like certain discriminatory practices and to let us know what the rights of the tenants are. So that was one of the main reasons I thought was an advantage. We did not want to be sued. So that was very
that was your motivation.
Yeah,
that's interesting that you said that because we recently had a class on fair housing. And one of the discussions that we had was how much violations and discrimination is still prevalent in fair housing practices. And it was interesting to discover, for the students, how redlining still exists, how stereotyping and other factors still exist in rental properties and even in lending. So I really appreciate you sharing that story because that was really a topic that we all had a great discussion about, and what you can and can't do is so important. What were your biggest challenges as a new real estate agent?
Well, as a new real estate agent, I think, how do I obtain clients? Where do I find my clients? Prospecting was
Yep.
probably one of the number one things I had to learn, how to prospect clients.
You just didn't have the gift to gab and go out and talk to everybody.
No,
You're like,
not like you.
I'm teasing.
Not like you. I did.
I just grabbed a set of cards and went out and started talking to everyone. Prospecting is a little more formal than that. So share
Yeah.
your experience with me.
But I mean, I had learned through you and other real estate professionals, use your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
People you already have in your pipeline, your relationships in terms of that, starting with your friends and family, sharing, I am a licensed realtor, sharing what you're able to do, and also in the church as well, which is where the bigger populations were, but not now during COVID, but still.
Right.
That was important to learn, and how to approach them and share with them, and not be too aggressive
Right.
in terms of that. So prospecting was something that I had to learn, working with the people I knew, and then introducing myself to new people. So the networking part is very important. And you taught me this, Tim, staying in touch with people, staying connected, calling and say, how are you doing? How are things going? Is there anything I can do? And the other thing you taught me, Tim, was that during that holiday season, you send out that card, you touch them, say, thinking of you. Those things help me a great deal. And it works.
And it also brings that human connection to what you do, because people, especially in real estate, they do business with people they trust. True. And so one of the ways that you build trust with clients is by connecting to them, being that human connection and letting them know, I'm not just concerned about you buying or selling a house, being transactional minded, but I'm concerned about you as a person. How are you? Is there anything I can do to help? That's funny that you mentioned that, because when I moved to Ohio and decided I'm going to semi-retire from real estate, I'm going to take a break. After the housing collapse, it was brutal to all of us, And when I moved to Ohio, I started getting phone calls. Hey, I'm having this problem in my business. And I know that you know how to do this. Can you come help me? And it was just that simple. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a real estate transaction or anything. It was just that simple. I'm going to come help you. That led to me having my consulting business today. Wow. So it's just how building those relationships is so important, not only to your real estate business, but to your future. I mean, we don't get anywhere by ourselves.
No, we don't. You are absolutely correct.
I really appreciate you sharing that story. What does a day in the life of a real estate agent look like for you?
Well, a day in the life for a real estate agent, you have to be your own cheerleader. I found that out, that from the morning that you start out your day, identify what your goals are and what you need to work on, your task. So I guess emails that you received, or returning calls from clients, and also checking the MLS. What is on the MLS, which is what's new on the MLS, and where the expireds went. So that was something else we worked.
Now, I've got a good class on that one.
Okay. So those are some things that you start that morning. And from there, it outlined for me what I need to do to prospect any clients in pipeline I had, if I were doing some searches for them, to update them on any searches, any clients that I had scheduled to close in the future, to work with them and see whether there are any problems with the title search or anything along those lines. And I found that fewer agents are doing that. Once it gets to the title company, the ball drops. And then a week before closing, or 2 days before closing, like, wow, we don't have the payoff figure. What do we do? What do we do? So we have panic time come along. So those surprises happen.
Now, they don't do that, do they?
Yes, they do.
We never went through that, did we?
Yes.
Yeah, I think also too, probably after all the years, you had an appreciation for all the things I required in a file, so that you be prepared for those moments.
Right.
So would you say that your days sometimes are really hectic? and you're juggling a lot of tasks in one day?
I would definitely say the day is hectic because you don't know who's going to call you next on that
Right.
phone and say, "Hey, I want to see these houses or I want to see these buildings. And can you arrange it for tomorrow?"
Yeah.
So right away, we're shifting and moving things for clients overall to give them what they're looking for, the service, the customer service. That's something that has to be natural with what we do. And then from the administrative end, like you said, the paperwork, now we're doing things through DocuSign. And so I know
Right.
your
Right.
class about DocuSign. And so for an older agent, I will tell you, DocuSign took a little adjusting even today. And also working with clients that are older in terms
Right.
of DocuSign, where an appointment may have taken you an hour, this appointment probably takes 2 hours because you have to go through the technology side of things. And
How much has technology impacted the business?
Oh, a great deal. Where our phone has so many apps on it that you can go through the apps, unlocking a door, sending documents, getting emails, getting password. It's like you can't be an agent without a phone.
Can
You
you
can't.
almost believe there was a day when we didn't have all that
Oh
technology?
my
I was
goodness.
sharing with the class about when I first started in real estate in 1994, we
Mhm.
picked up keys from the different real estate offices, let ourselves in, and then took the keys back. We
Mhm.
had tear sheets for MLS. We didn't have,
Right.
nothing was computerized. I was
Mhm.
lucky when I won a fax machine for our office.
Oh,
So I laugh because technology drives so much. What would you say is the greatest joy you've had being a real estate agent?
I would, to be honest, is the relationships. The relationships with my clients, relationship with our peers, and working with other realtors and networking. I think that's most enjoyable, especially if you have a client that's buying a home for the first time. You
Mhm.
see their eyes light up, you see excited they are, and what role I get to play with helping them through that process and making sure they have a wonderful experience through that process. I think that was so important to me. And then when you get to the closing, they still had smiles on their face and was happy. You didn't have buyers and sellers in separate rooms that you had to
Right.
keep apart. They were all in the same room. And at the end of the day, they have a new property, a new home. We give them those little baskets, the gift
Yep.
baskets. Now during COVID, we can't give gift baskets. We'll give you a gift card
Right.
overall. But I would say those relationships that you build, because I still have clients that refer me to their grandchildren or their aunts and uncles and said, "Ella helped me through this process. Give Ella a call." So I think it's the relationships for me, definitely.
I agree. That's interesting that you mentioned you have clients that refer you to new clients. How
Mhm.
important is repeat business to building your business as a real estate agent?
I think it's very important because now with certain clients, I've done 2 and 3 transactions
Yeah.
over a 5-year period. I had a client just recently. She had a home built 2 years ago. She's unhappy because the builder built another house right behind her. So she's out looking again. I help her sell her first. I help her buy her first house in Edgewood, and then I help her sold that same house. I help her find the lot where she built the house and help with that transaction. Now I'm putting it back on the market so she can find another property. So 3 transactions, I think that touch and that relationship
Yeah.
is very important. So yeah,
It
I'd
is
say it's probably
so
about a good 40% of my business
So you think
overall.
it's 40% of your business now.
Yes.
That was one of the things I was trying to explain to the class is that your first year in real estate is really your hardest because
Mhm.
you're just working your sphere of influence. People are getting used to you being an agent. You're starting to get some momentum. Your second year seems to be better, but that third year you start getting your repeat business. And it seems like from that point forward, it really, really goes a lot easier.
Mhm.
What is your greatest achievement as a real estate agent?
Wow. I'm not sure I'm there yet.
You know, I appreciate that.
I'm not there yet.
I appreciate that
I
answer.
thought you was going to ask me what was the largest deal I ever closed on.
Okay, well, let's do that. What's your largest deal?
And my largest deal was a commercial deal that was $750,000.
Yeah.
That was my largest.
And they don't come as often as you like sometimes.
Especially commercial.
Yeah, well,
Especially commercial. There's
it's
gaps.
harder. It's harder. What is your biggest challenge in real estate because of COVID, because of the pandemic? What is the biggest challenge you're facing right now?
The face-to-face with clients and meeting clients in person is
Mhm.
very difficult. Your time with them is limited in a house when you're taking a tour. Like Tim, before you could tour a house, excuse me, in 1 hour, but now
Right.
it's 30 minutes. You're
Yeah.
in and you're out.
Well, and are you using Zoom to connect to your clients any? Like Zoom conference calling, is that a tool that you're using?
If they're relocating, I use Zoom. So
Okay,
my first encounter, I may have someone moving here from California overall. So we do a Zoom call. And then upon they let me know when they're arriving, I do greet them overall, but it's limited and have to be scheduled overall that I have found I have to space clients out because
right.
of travel time overall.
Well, that makes sense. So I'm going to let you have one last thought for all the students at Cincinnati State. Our class was 32 students,
Wow.
which was a lot more than I anticipated in class. All different reasons why they're there. Some interested in property management, some commercial, some real estate, some investing. What is one last thought you would like to leave with them today? What would you like to say?
I think a real estate career does not have an age limit. Like someone says, oh, you can only do it for 10 years or 5 years. You can be a real estate agent for as long as you like. As long as you enjoy meeting people and helping people, I think that's the important side of things. And I like it because it's very diversified. No one day is the same. Not all clients are alike. I
Right.
deal with various clients in terms of the younger, the older one, the ones that are looking at commercial property,
Right.
the ones looking at mixed use property. And I guess my joy is the one that wants to buy that first house. Or I talked to a
Right.
client the other day. I want to find my dream home. This is my last home. I want to find that dream home. And
Right.
then overall, helping people when they decide to downsize,
Right.
overall, or helping that college student with their condo in terms of that.
Right.
So those are the types of things I enjoy the most. I get to
And you're very
travel.
good at that too.
Yes,
You're very
thank you.
good at connecting to people. So I'm gonna just thank you for being here today. I'm gonna end our recording. Hang on here a little bit because I want to chat with you, but I'm gonna end our recording and thank you for sharing about a day in the life of a real estate agent. I think this will help a lot of our students get a better perspective of what it means to be a realtor. So thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome, Tim. Thank you.